How we can use language in an effective way? Well, we are going to introduce you first about language. For example, we have oral and written language. Oral has been. We are referring to language. We have to do an clearance. Oh my God, brain! We are going to give an clearance that we are referring to language in the words or things that we are going to choose to put in our speech. So, we have the basic functions of language that we are talking about: sounds, symbols, words, and that kind of stuff. Then we have denotative meaning, and denotative meaning, it's we could say that it's in a specific meaning for a word. We can also say, like, to understand better, that is the dictionary meaning. Yeah. Then we have the cognitive, and this one, it has a lot of meanings for a word. For example, I'm feeling blue, I'm feeling sad. I won a blue ribbon, I won the first place of the competition. I love blue. We are talking about, indeed, of the color blue. But there are some ways that oral and written language differ between each other. Like, oral language has smaller syllables, that has more variety of words, um, or have shorter sentences, that kind of stuff. Now that I already give you the introduction, I'm going to start in the matter. How we can use language in an effective way. When we are thinking about this, we have to have it in mind that we have to consider the degree to which language is appropriate, vivid, familiar, the context, our audience, and all about the stuff. For example, if I'm going to give I'm going to explain to you, I'm going to say to you a little bit of the things, like use appropriate language, appropriate for the speaking. For example, I'm giving to you a scientific report, but I am not used to use scientific words that are not very known by the whole world, we can say that. So I'm going to try to choose a word that it's in maybe in a lower level, but I can understand better and I can explain better. But obviously, I'm not going to try to put a too informal word, and that's when it comes appropriate for context. And we have to think, obviously, that it has to be appropriate for our audience. If we are talking to scientific studies, scientifics, we are not going to talk about the too informal. It's going to sound bad. Okay. So then we have appropriate for the topic, use vivid language, imagery, concreteness, simile, metaphor, rhythm, parallelism, repetition, alliteration. I'm going to explain alliteration. It's when it's like another type of rhythmic language. It's when you repeat a word 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 or more. We're repeating 2 or more words in a series to begin with the same consonant. Assonance, use inclusive language, and I think that in this era it's a lot important. And I am not only talking about genders. It's like, we are not, if your audience has a lot of types of people, a lot of types of groups, all of that, your audience is going to fill out, and they're going to stop or not stop, like lower their concentration in your speech because you're not using inclusive language. You have to know that you're going to be able to talk about a lot of people, and you have to include them, and they're going to feel like more inclusive, like, you know. Well, then we are going to pass to the sixth two elements of language, like obscenity. We are not going to use pornography, um, references, or language that it's not appropriate for all the people. You know, it's very important because you are going to offend someone every time, and it's going to be that your speech is going to be less professional, you know. Then we have clarity and is that your audience can understand your speech. Then we have I'm going to read this because it's a word that I am getting hard with. Obscure language. It's a hard word. And this one is very simple, and it's that it's language that it's not typically related to which sorry, that is okay, sorry. Tongue twist. And is when is the language that we choose that it's not typically understood or known by all the audience. It has to be with clarity and a lot of things. Well, we are talking about this for a few, so I said to you what are oral versus written language. We both use them in our speech, so yeah. I talk about the how we can use our our language in an effective way, and which things that we have in mind to do it in a right way, and the elements of language. I hope you understand a lot, and thank you.